So here we go. I am very pleased to introduce the 4 panelists tonight. We have with us Dr. Denise Koch, and she is the Dean of Lincoln Memorial University, a brand new school in Knoxville, Tennessee. We have CEO of Modal, which is Cole Bender, Dr. Cole Bender. He's a recent graduate of the University of Pennsylvania. And Scott Armstrong, the CEO of Promethean Dental Services.
Hi, MJ. Great to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Hi, MJ. It's great to be here with you.
Yeah, it's great to be with you, MJ.
I will just go ahead and get started. What is the future of dentistry, and how do you see PDS playing a part in it, Scott?
So we believe the future of dentistry is really tied to how well people are educated. And we believe that dental education can really be elevated with the use of technology. And we believe it can be elevated with better use and more use of assessments. We're really excited at PDS to be able to provide advanced technology to help elevate dental education, but we're also really proud of the fact that, the way that we're introducing that is to augment the existing dental school, the existing educational structure. We're not trying to change how it works. We're adding technology, and we're looking at this from a multimodal lens. How can I learn things in different ways? Will it help me accelerate my learning? Will it help me to gain more depth in what I learn? And most importantly, as I traverse through my learning experience, in particular dental school, will I have had access to the type of technology that allows me to take board exams and licensure exams and other assessments that are really not subjective anymore, but objectively graded? Give me black and white results, tell me how I really did, how I performed. We're really excited about bringing that to dental education.
Thank you so much, Scott. Denise, do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that?
In order to fully train a new dental student to graduate with them at the level of competence that we really want to see them achieve, we need to add the technology into the dental programs. As a new school, we will be one of the most technology savvy schools in the country. Well, we are having, we're using the Simudont to do our assessments. So from day one, the student will have objective assessments and learning skills from the use of technology. We will implement that before they even enter the simulation lab. The students will be introduced to the Simudont. They will practice their hepatic hand skills, and they will be actually able to be graded without a faculty member there. So if practice sessions, weekends, students will have access to this technology 24/7 in the College of Dental Medicine. So it will give them opportunity to practice and give them the assessments that they need to start learning how to self-evaluate themselves as they will throughout dental school and throughout their practicing career. In addition, the addition of technology not only will decrease the cost of dental education over time, it'll decrease the cost of dental practice. So we will be adding our CAD/CAM technology. Students will be milling crowns, will be 3D printing night guards, athletic mouth guards, retainers, and even dentures. So the addition of the technologies to the program really will elevate the level of care that the students will be able to provide, and provide it in a cost-effective manner.
I just want to add an add-on question to that, Denise. So how, many dental schools struggle with staying on top of technology. And so how are you thinking about the technology pieces and the future of dentistry? And how are we going to be able to pivot fast enough to keep up? Because technology is changing so drastically every single day. And dentistry is no different. I think that we struggle a little bit more because it is happening so fast in our industry. But how are you, planning for that going into a brand new dental school?
I am very fortunate to have the support of our president and our chairman of the board who believe that technology is the key to the future. So as we see the technology advance in dentistry, the School of College of Dental Medicine will be opening to employ all of this technological advances into the program. So I feel we will be right on the cutting edge, and there will not be a real lag for us at all.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. Cole, I want to give you an opportunity to answer the same question. How is Modal going? And maybe talk a little bit about the company and what your mission is. And how are you going to impact the future of dental education?
Yeah, so one of the things, the reason I started Modal was back in our first and second year of dental school, we were exposed to cutting edge technology in different ways. And one of the things we found was that the use of 2D images and outdated content was unfortunately still apparent. We were seeing lectures from, the late 90s, early 2000s, and in 2020, that information it's 20 years old. It needed an update. And, when you go around the world around you, there's AR, VR, 3D technology, all sorts of this new technology, just like Dr. Koch had mentioned, there's 3D printing and digital dentistry. And it was unfortunate to see that this technology wasn't being implemented in the didactic portion of school. When we did some market research with friends, across the nation in different dental schools, again, we just found that this technology wasn't being implemented in dental school. And so that's really where we got our inspiration to create Modal, which is a 3D communication platform for learning, teaching, and sharing. And what we're trying to do is implement 3D images, AR, VR into the didactic portion of dental education so that students can better integrate knowledge rather than just memorize for exams and board exams. And then what we found is that there's actually research showing that utilizing 3D images integrates knowledge more efficiently, which then translates to better clinical competency and performance in patient care scenarios. So the research is out there, it's supportive of this technology, and we're fortunate enough to be able to start to implement this and work with Scott and Dr. Koch here, and they're implementing this technology into their curriculums.
That's a great segue into the next question, which is, all three of you are collaborating on a brand new pre-admissions boot camp. And I think it's really critically important that the audience know that this exists, because I believe it's the first of its kind in the country. And from your perspective, Dr. Koch, how do you anticipate that this is going to really change the dental admissions process for students?
It'll streamline the dental admissions process across the board. We're giving the students a chance to actually have a simulated dental school experience through the pre-admissions boot camp. They'll learn dental anatomy. They'll have hepatic hand skills using the actual simudent that'll be used in the dental schools. They'll have evaluations that are objective, and they'll really be able to, over the course of the week, really get a real taste for what dentistry is about, what's expected. Do they have the hand skills that are required to become a competent practitioner? And do they enjoy dentistry? And any job that you have, you must enjoy what you do. And this will give you the student a taste. In addition, what we'll provide for the student is an environment where our admissions team will be on premise, and we'll be doing some mock interviews. And it'll really help prepare them. And ultimately, the goal is to have, from the pre-admissions boot camp, is to actually offer admissions into our dental program.
Oh my gosh, so very exciting. So any of the students that might participate in this pre-admission boot camp will have an opportunity not only to do a mock interview, but be considered for the entering class into LMU.
That is correct.
Congratulations, that's an amazing feat. Scott, I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about PDS and the simulator, and give the audience a little bit of a taste as to, what it is that we're talking about, because many people don't know what haptic technology is. I didn't know much about it until I was recently introduced to it and introduced to the PDS company. So why don't you share a little bit about the background of PDS and what your mission and vision is for your company?
So PDS was started by Rick Callen and Jerry Cooper, a couple of doctors that are owners, board members of PDS. They were consistently running into challenges and getting students at third year, fourth year in dental school who were demonstrating a lack of hand skills. And as they began to research the problem, they were finding that it was pervasive throughout each year of school. And they really went out to research, is there a way that we can evaluate hand skills and understand things without having to have a professor oversee it? Is there something that looks like a patient, feels like touching a tooth, but doesn't require having a patient and doesn't require having somebody be in a clinic? And they found the Simodont, which is a product that's manufactured by Nissan. It's distributed in the US by Kilgore International. And they put the idea together and formulated a company around the concept of initially just evaluating hand skills and helping people understand that part of what costs so much in dental education is you have to start with just the fundamentals of understanding, are you capable of being a dentist? Do you have the hand skills? You know, are you competent to do this? And that simulation environment that Dr. Koch is talking about is, we relish that opportunity to be there so that we can begin to work with Cole and his team, her team of people looking at admissions, and begin to break down the elements past just a DAT, break it down into specific elements to understand if you're capable, if you're competent, and build your confidence from the beginning. And then what the simulator does is it's a capability that you plug into a dental school. And as Dr. Koch described, alongside of Koch's anatomy of Cole's anatomy classes, you are exposed to technology that looks and feels like you're working with real people, but you're not burning up teeth in a lab, and you're not doing things that require a lot of effort to reset in the clinic. You punch a button just like the Xbox and you start over again and you keep working on it. That helps you with pre-clinic. And then you get into working in the clinic and you get into working with patients, and you can plug the simulator into digital equipment like Dr. Koch was describing, and not only do assessments and compare before and after, but you can actually scan patients' teeth that you're working on, and you can practice before you actually sit down with the patient. What a confidence builder that provides to people. But you take it all the way to the end, and wouldn't you rather have that opportunity to take an examination when you're going to be licensed that is fair, that is standard, that's objective, that gives you black and white results based on how you perform? There's no subjectivity in this. This tool will facilitate that, and it will facilitate it all the way into doctors' offices around the country. We are so blessed to now be joining and be a part of CREET. And CREET is focusing on really exposing college, dental students to what it's going to be like when you go out and practice. What kind of technology are you going to be using? What's the newest, latest, and greatest thing? But we're going to be exposing a whole other element, which is education. Continuing education is actually a part of that dental practice, and improving and maintaining those skills and bettering them over time. The simulator is going to be critical to that as well. So it's not all that PDS stands for, but it is the critical center of where we started PDS. And we're really excited about the use of the product. And we're really excited about working with students in the pre-admissions bootcamp.
Thank you, Scott. So you had mentioned earlier multimodal learning, and elaborate a little bit on that more, on what they can expect in this pre-admissions camp from the things that they'll be working on and the experiences that they will have.
So in this pre-admissions bootcamp, we're going to be providing both a didactic curriculum, which is going to be driven from our LMS. Part and parcel to that will be Modal 3D, and it's just an amazing technology. What these guys have developed is the ability to manipulate teeth, to pull them out, to flip them over, to look at them in different ways, to get all the information that you need to understand. It makes anatomy fun again. It makes tooth numbering fun again. We're going to extend that, though, into abbreviated versions of what you would see in our continuing education curriculum, whether it's, like Dr. Koch said, if we're simulating this, we got to talk a little bit about restorative. We got to talk a little bit about prosthodontics. We're going to talk a little bit about endodontics. We're going to talk about perio. We're going to talk about hygiene. We're going to look at the procedures and the principles of what you're going to be learning when you're becoming a dentist or a hygienist. And we're hoping to elevate not only the skill, but when you combine that with the admissions team being involved, interviews, working through what you're doing in terms of your credentials, looking at your application. This is an event that's going to elevate you and create a competitive advantage against all the other people you're competing against. And trust me, dental school is competitive.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody's going to get in, and you know that, Dr. Hanlon. So this is an opportunity to save money by getting it all in one drink and then create a competitive advantage for yourself. And I'd love to hear what Cole's thought on this is, because you didn't have these when you were going into dental school.
Right. Go ahead, Cole.
Yeah, this sort of information would just be absolutely life-changing, and that's an understatement. So I come from a family where no one is involved in dentistry. I applied to dental school. I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And halfway through my first year, going into my second year, I realized how little I knew. And thank goodness that I love dentistry and that I'm pretty somewhat decent at it. Otherwise, you never know what could happen. And I've seen people that, you get into dental school, you're spending, unfortunately, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not only is it a 4-year commitment to be in dental school, but then you're tied to that career. And so to be able to know more information about dentistry, and then what we're talking about, this technology with the boot camp, to be able to come into dental school with actual hand skills. I mean, it's like, I can't even describe how much of an effect it would have, especially in your first 2 years, but then to build that really solid foundation going into clinical practice, just being able to go faster, feel more confident with any sort of preps that you're doing, using a mirror, which is the most impossible thing when you first start. It's just absolutely immensely helpful. So I'm super behind everything that's going on with PDS and integrating with LMU, and so excited to see where this is going to go.
Excellent. So I will say that is one thing I observed as in the field of education when I was working with students, would be always everybody would go like this and cracking their neck, and that contributes to long-term effects on the body for a dentist. There's numbers of dentists that I know that I had worked for growing up that had kinks in their neck and a bull neck and all sorts of musculoskeletal issues because they were not looking in the mouth the right way and using a mirror. So the Simudon actually prevents you from cheating. You have to look directly through a mirror. Is that correct, Scott?
That is correct. It requires you to sit in a correct ergonomic position. And it's interesting because we use cameras in our labs. And so we can actually show a comparison between someone who's sitting at a Simudon required to see through a particular viewpoint and how they bend over on a mannequin and cheat in every way they possibly can. And, it's been really fun to watch this experience. In the last 6 months, we've been exposed to everyone from someone who's 18 years old to someone who's been practicing for 40 years. And I can tell you that everybody who sits on the product is blown away by the touch and feel, but everybody comes at it in different ways, and not everybody is perfect at it right away. And interestingly enough, it's some of our older practitioners who've sat on the product that have more difficulty with it. And it's not because of the technology, it's because maybe they're not still using their hands the same way. It is an absolute awesome product in terms of its ability to give you those types of training principles and really educate you.
Excellent.
And on one quick note, there are exams in dental school where and also when you're treating a patient, you can't use direct vision. I mean, you can't be leaning over your patient with your head on their chest trying to do a cavity restoration. So it's immensely helpful. Again, I love this technology. I'm so fortunate to be able to work with them and got to see a little sneak peek the other week. So super behind it.
Excellent. Thank you, Cole. Now, one of the questions I wanted to elaborate on with you, Cole, is, your contribution, what is that piece going to look like, and what can the student expect to enjoy while they're doing this boot camp? Because I actually think it becomes really exciting when you learn something new and get to see something for the first time.
Yeah, so Scott had kind of touched on this earlier, but talking about making dental anatomy fun and dental numbering fun again. So when I first learned how to number teeth, it was all 32 teeth on one image, and I just had to go through and memorize it. And then I remember on my test, we were talking about number 12, and I was like, well, what's number 13? What's it look like? You just don't know because everything is a flat 2D image. But what we're offering through this boot camp is a individual subscription for pre-dental and dental students to be able to have access to dental anatomy and dental numbering and introduction to terminology, along with some board questions that can kind of give a base example of what sort of content students are going to be exposed to in dental school, and how it's phrased, to how it's phrased on the board questions, how it's phrased in classes. And then to be able to go into dental school and ace your first dental anatomy test, that's usually the first course that you take, being able to go in and ace that and just have that confidence going into dental school. It just hasn't been done before. I mean, some people have, been fortunate enough to maybe have a parent that's a dentist and they kind of know, but to really see the content displayed in the way that it will be in dental school and on the board exams, but have it be manipulatable in 3D at your fingertips with the content directly integrated into the image. It's powerful stuff.
Absolutely. I think it's genius, actually, what you guys are all doing, because quite honestly, before I went to hygiene school, I took a medical terminology course just because I wanted to understand, the medical jargon before I went to hygiene school. And sure enough, it was critically important, and it made me sail through so many classes because I understood the concept of what they were describing, because I was prepared ahead of time. So this is outstanding collaboration by three amazing companies to get something together for the very first time that nobody else has seen. Now, one of the things, Dr. Koch, I wanted to ask you specifically about is, how do you feel that this is going to help decrease the overall cost of the application process?
Well, if the student wants to come to LMU, we're a brand new dental school. We're offering right from the get-go is through this boot camp, you'll go through the admissions process. And if you meet our minimum requirements, pass the hepatic hand skills, and you will take exams during this boot camp. If you score and you pass these exams, then you will be considered as a candidate for the College of Dental Medicine through LMU. So you can take a look at it across the board. Is the cost of the camp is your fee and your application through ADIA would be your fees. And like I said, this way you don't have to go to 5, 6, 7, 8 schools to interview, flights, hotel, going through the stress, the pressure of interviewing at every school. We're offering something very unique.
Excellent, excellent. And Cole, you had shared earlier that was a huge issue for you when you were applying, that how much money you spent applying to dental schools.
Yeah, not only the money. I mean, when we talk about, so I'm originally from Los Angeles and I had an interview in New York. That trip was, I want to say it was almost close to $750, $1,000. And as a student who just graduated undergrad, you don't have your own money, you don't have a job. That money is crucially important, especially as you go into dental school, where if you're taking out full loans, you could really make that money go pretty far. So not only does it save that money part of it, but also really be able to communicate with the administrators at a school, and kind of just get exposed to how they think, how things are phrased, the content, like you said, would be immensely helpful. And I really wish I would have had that experience, because it's difficult to communicate with schools. You're looking for online forums for hours and hours, poring over them, just trying to get some sort of insight as to, what is the attitude of the school, how do they think about things. And this boot camp that they're offering is really just incredible, and really great exposure to the inner functionings of how schools work.
Great. I'm going to open it up to anybody to answer the next question. Tell us more about interactive technology. What does that mean to you, and how are you addressing that in the boot camp?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. I think Modal's 3D technology is pretty interactive, but so like I said, we're offering a pre-admissions individual subscription. And what it is, it's going to be dental anatomy, basic terminology, integrated with some board content that we've specifically curated for that level of dental student, just to really get an introduction to the content and the images, the teeth, learning about mesial buccal, which teeth have 3 roots, where's, a bulge, and just really the basic terminology that you're going to go into dental school and really have to learn on the fly. Being able to know what cementum is, enamel, dentin, grooves, transverse lines, transverse ridges. These aren't things that and they're not quick to integrate. So what we're offering is an individual subscription portal for pre-dental students to log in, and they can reference it on their phone, their tablet, their computer. It's going to have all of our 3D images right there alongside the content and any notes that we have added. But also in the images themselves, we have highlighted different facets of the teeth, different anatomical features. We've added notes into the image itself. So very consumable, easy to use, touch of your fingertips. And I think it's really going to help students going into dental school just to be able to have that confidence. And like you said, dental school moves very, very quickly, and to have that confidence as a foundation is going to be very helpful for pre-dental students.
Absolutely.
I want to add to that, and I want to extend what Cole was talking about a bit, because he made it sound like this is just the beginning, and it's not just the beginning. I mean, maybe that's the focus of the pre-admissions boot camp, but one of the reasons we're working with Modal is they have the similar vision that we have. This is a product just like our products that are going to extend from dental school into practice. And yes, you're going to have access to this library, and you will use that for board exams, but you're going to use that all the way through dental school. And you're going to probably use it when you're providing treatment plans to patients. And you think about in the future, instead of looking at that crazy radiograph and the little teeth that are gray and what is this thing here, but someone can actually grab a tooth and pull it out and show you why you need to be treated, show you what's happening under your gum line. What an amazing thing to be able to provide that type of technology. It's no longer Buck Rogers or just on TV. These guys are producing it. And think about the fact that while they're producing it, we can take those same teeth and we can put them, no matter what the position, no matter what the challenge is, into a product where you can sit down and you can actually work on it with a drill or an instrument. And when you're done, we can show you what you did and how it compares to where you started and if you did it effectively or not. So that's why I'll transition to Dr. Koch and just really, I just want people to understand the importance of what she's done here. This pre-admissions boot camp, it's saying that I want to know more and I want to provide something that truly differentiates the students who want to come to LMU. It says I want the kind of student that's going to be technology proficient and become a part of a workforce that is quickly becoming technology driven. This is no longer your dad's dental shop, man, it's changing. So understanding what those things are and how they work, it's just a whole nother element of this. And she's bringing that to the forefront. This is a pre-dental program, not just for a new school. It's a pre-dental program for one of the elite schools, because the way they're approaching this is going to be very different. And so I'm just really excited about being a part of that.
Dr. Koch, you're up.
The technologies will drive everything that we do at the College of Dental Medicine, integrating the Modal 3D, integrating the Simudont with PDS technology. The fact that all of these technologies from Modal are portable, the student can take them with them. We're integrating virtual anatomy. You can dissect in your bedroom at home. You can do a full dissection virtually. You can come to the clinic 24/7. You can experience prepping a tooth, prepping a bridge. Eventually, we talked about placing your implant, doing a root canal. All of these skills you will be able to learn on the Simudont. Then they're translated to a simulator and then to the patient care. So it really goes full circle and brings everything that we want in dental education. We just are elevating it up another level. And we're preparing the students to enter into practice fully competent that with the technology that's available, that the student can critically think and problem solve. And if they utilize the Simudont in an office situation, they're continually improving their skill. The one thing that I think is so important for a student is to learn how to self-evaluate. And that's another thing that the Simudon helps provide, that you need to look objectively at your own work, and you need to provide critique to yourself. That's the only way we get better. And that's one of the things that the Simudon is going to really help the student do, is you will try to achieve more and more and more. We're all competitive at nature. So you're trying to achieve that 100% on the Simudon. So you're just perfecting your skills more and more. And I think it's crucial to dental education and to really providing society with practitioners that are competent, that can critically think through, problem solve, and are really at the forefront of the dental profession.
Excellent. Now, Dr. Koch, I'm going to ask you to switch gears a little bit, and I want to transition to one of the cool things that, and the most impressive thing that I read about your mission is that you're going to have your students provide access to care to underserved areas in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that for the audience? Because I think this generation, more so than even my generation, grew up serving one another, and I love that about this generation. Millennials and going to kids that are in school today. That's part of their routine. They do have to serve each other and serve the community. So tell us a little bit more about your program.
The College of Dental Medicine was founded by LMU for two reasons. We have an educational mission to provide the highest quality dental graduate that we can. The other mission is to serve the 2.2 million people in East Tennessee that do not have access to oral health care. Being comprised of 33 counties, 31 are considered medically underserved by the federal government, and Tennessee overall is probably deficient between 900 and 1,200 dentists, and that primarily is in East Tennessee. So through affiliations with the Health Wagon, Remote Area Medical, Ballad Health, Free Clinics of America through the University of Tennessee Medical Center, we are going to reach into these communities. We will have students in schools. We have them working with Free Indeed Ministries to provide care. We are in a service-oriented profession, and we have to dig deep in our heart and provide service for those who can't afford the care that they need. And by doing that, we're elevating not only ourselves by providing, we're elevating those people. We're giving them a smile. We're giving them self-confidence, self-esteem, the ability to go get a job. We're doing so much more than just providing overall dental care. We're changing their lives. And this is a mission that's very close to my heart, is that we reach into these communities. I myself go out and provide care with Remote Area Medical. I was there a couple of weeks ago doing extractions and providing care. So this is important that all of the students embrace what it is to truly give back to the community. We're all blessed by being given these wonderful skills that we have, and the brain to think through and to achieve these goals and to give back to the community is so absolutely so important. So every semester in the College of Dental Medicine, the students are required to provide 40 hours of community service. But that means our students will be in the clinic from semester one. They'll start providing preventive care into the community.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Congratulations. That's quite the feat, and I hope other schools start to follow in your footsteps. I know many do. I know many have programs, but from the first year all the way through, I think that's outstanding. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
So we are at the end of our questions, but I do know that one of the things that we want to make sure the audience is aware of where to register for the pre-admissions boot camp. And Scott and Dr. Koch, I think that both of you can talk about that and maybe elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah, no problem. So on the link that's on your Facebook, they can hit the registration and it will reach out and contact us. You can go ahead and register for the boot camp. If you have questions, you can ask questions and we'll contact you and discuss your questions with you. You'll also be able to see this on the Lincoln Memorial University website. You'll be able to see it on the Promethean Dental Systems website. We're going to begin opening up the camp at the end of July, starting the 26th of July. We'll be registering people all the way through every week through August. When you register, you can pick the week that you want to come and you can prioritize the other weeks. As we begin to take on registrations, we'll begin to place people into weeks and put together each of the different boot camps. We're super excited. You're going to be attending with a mix of people, people that are straight out of high school, people that want to do hygiene, people that want to do dental school, undergraduates, as well as people that are professionals who want to get into dental school. So the mix of people is going to be really eclectic, and you're going to learn a lot in this opportunity. You'll get firsthand opportunity with the people that are running the dental school, their admissions team, their academic team. It's just a fantastic opportunity to learn a lot in a very short period of time and really give yourself a competitive advantage when you want to get into dental school.
I think too, Dr. Koch, one of the things we didn't really mention is you also have a dental hygiene program that you're beginning as well, right?
Yes, we do. Dental hygiene program will open August of 2022.
Excellent. So, you know, anybody that is interested in the field of dentistry and either dental hygiene and dentistry should, you know, really pay attention and join us for the pre-admissions boot camp. Dr. Koch, anything else you want to add?
I think I can just give you a little tidbit of information that forensic dentistry is now at the forefront. Everybody's interested in forensics. We will be offering a full continuing education program in forensic dentistry. Students will also be exposed to forensic dentistry throughout their 4-year career with us.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Cole, any parting words that you would like to share?
This was awesome, and I love hearing Dr. Koch speak about her program. I just think it's amazing what they're going to be able to do for students, and to be able to deliver care to underprivileged populations, I think is immensely helpful as personally rewarding, but also great exposure to be able to see all different types of cases. So always great hearing from her, and I love working with Scott and their product. I'm very firmly believe in it, and excited to release Modal. We have a great subscription portal coming out, and thank you, MJ, Dr. Hanlon, for letting us speak here. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. So that's it, everyone, from us. And if you just want more information, I am going to make sure that the registration link does get put into my Facebook page underneath this video. So look for that later on in a few minutes, and I'll put it up. And if you have any questions about this pre-admissions program, don't hesitate to either reach out to Scott at PrometheanDentalSystems.com or Dr. Koch. And Dr. Koch, if you could share your email address, that would be great.
Sure, it's denise.therese-cook@lmunet.edu.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. We really appreciate you being a guest on my Facebook Live page. And we hope everyone has a great evening. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.